Mandy，Mandy 在吗？
在。喂，听得到吗？
老师今天会来吗？
请说。
等一下，老师今天我不确定，
我听不到你的声音。
他应该会来一下下，但是我不知道为什么他还没来。
哦。好。
Mandy，你今天声音好小声哦。
我想说，是不是要等老师来再开始？
哎，不用不用。我觉得好，应该是那个 Grace 那边可以设定哎。
但是你的会有回音，我帮你把声音先。因为你会有回音。
哦 ，OK OK。
Oh no, Angel will join later.
Okay. Where's Lita?
Should we wait for Professor?
That's the question I want to ask too.
We don't need to wait for her. She will be here
So
anytime.
we can start right now.
Is Rita here? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we can start now.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I think it's about the time. And last time our discussion is mainly focused on the guideline of Taiwan's education in English, and also learn about some different ways to learn about the English. So, and today we're going to invite you to discuss the topic of technology in language teaching with us. So, the slides, the upper one is me. I'm Grace, and Alicia. She's Alicia. Alicia, do you want to say something? Say hi. Okay.
Hello, I am Alicia.
You can come closer to hear clearly, to see the PPT clearly. Okay. Eh? 为什么 PPT 按不到？ Okay. So the first question for you is to have you ever used the technology to assist your language learning? You can take some examples to assist to how did it help your learning. And I will go first. When I was in elementary school or in elementary school, at that time the smartphone didn't come in at that time. So when I wanted to look up some new words or to check some new words, it is not easy for me to use the smartphone or use the laptop to search the internet. So I have an electronic dictionary. I don't know, do you have any kind of like dictionary like me? I can use like machine to look up some new words or look up some new definitions that I don't know. And that machine is also can play some games in the machine. So I really like to use the machine very much. So when I learned my English at the time, I use the electronic dictionary very often. And you can share your some technology assist your language learning. Alicia, do you want to take some examples?
No. So, for me, I have the same experience as Grace. When I was young, my parents bought me some electronic dictionary, and yeah, I also use that to assist my memorizing vocabularies. Like, so for me, memorizing vocabulary mainly focuses on how to. I use a technique which is how read it and then write it. So this dictionary will tell me how do I pronounce it, and then I'll have better memorizing of that vocabulary. So how about digital? Do you have any technology used when you are learning language?
Oh yeah. I mainly use technological devices when we learn listening comprehension. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when we learn listening comprehension in English, I used to use a audio recorder, and so we use earphones, and we use also some YouTube channels of BBC and CNN. So what we do,
Subtitles.
no, we use subtitle, but at the first time we have to listen to a podcast in the BBC channel or CNN, and then when we finish to listen the podcast, we try to record ourselves. We have some kind of audio recorder, and we have to record ourselves to explain what we understand in the podcast. What is the main theme? Yeah, what is the main theme? What are the persons that are present in the discussion? What they discussed about, etc. So that was mainly what we used to, and we use also to some. It's an equivalent of Zoom. I don't know if you know Skype.
Yes.
Yeah, so we use also Skype because we had a kind of partnership with a school in the United States, and the students of that school are trained to be teachers for students who are not native speakers of English. So they are trained to be teachers of other people, other countries.
So they're also training to become a teacher as well.
Yeah, like you, yeah.
Oh,
And we use some use Skype to try to to talk with them, but I acknowledge that it was very, very hard because we were not, mainly me, I was not very familiar with the American accent of English, and every time I just ask the guy to repeat.
oh,
Oh.
Yeah, but it was a very, very sympathetic guy, and yeah, he just told me that whenever you don't understand, I can't repeat. And we have to listen to them. And when we come back in classroom, we try also to give a kind of summary of our classmates of what we've done there. So basically, we use Skype, audio recorder, YouTube channels, and podcast to develop our learning comprehension.
Oh.
Yeah, and we also try to, whenever we do that, for example, whenever we use 1 month or 2 months to develop our skills in listening comprehension, then we have to do a kind of translations and also interpreter. Like when you are in public ceremonies, often you can guess that there are a person who translates for everyone that don't speak English or something like that. But it is automatic translation, and here in France we call it translation and interpreter. So we try also, we have the materials, and for example, Alicia, when she speaks English, I try to do the automatic translation for the classroom, and it was a kind of test.
oh,
But,
that's so
yeah,
cool.
you, for example, you have the materials and the earphones, and everybody in the class will put his earphones and listen to me, for example. And when Alicia, for example, say good morning everyone, I try to say bonjour à tout le monde, etc., etc. But that was the most difficult thing that I saw, and usually we don't succeed because we need to be very, very fluent at the time, and also to have self-confidence, because sometimes we were not automatic and our classmates were just laughing. Yeah, sometimes it happened to me when because each week we have to choose one translator and one interpreter. But for example, it happened to me just to wait 30 seconds or often 1 minute to just find the word. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was mainly my.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
I'm just
no worries.
curious. I'm just curious. Does this take place when you're in college, or I forgot how you say it.
In college and also in high school.
So your English level is kind of advanced, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
We did it in high school because in high school we had a specific room for that. We had a specific room that.
You have what
was
in high school?
That? I didn't get it.
Yeah, I said in high school we got a specific room that was equipped with technological tools, and so we start that in high school. And also when we finish high school, we keep on doing it at university also.
Oh, technology assist.
Yeah, I did
Oh.
it in high school because I started learning English there, and I keep on doing it also in at university because I didn't learn English at primary school. I just started in high school.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically,
Okay.
that was how we try to learn listening comprehension, etc., etc. We use a lot BBC and CNN because I remember my teacher used to say that they were native speakers and also the material was authentic because we just keep, a very authentic discussion in real life, just a podcast in real life.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't choose, for example, prepare because other some teachers they prefer to use materials that are already prepared for second language learner. For example, Alicia and me can try to have a simulation discussion in order to prepare materials for second learners, for second language learners. But our teacher he preferred to choose authentic materials like a discussion that occurred in real life, and for him that was much efficient to acquire the skills. On YouTube, when we listen it, we try also to record ourselves and to say what was the main topic of the debate, what was the person that was involved in the debate, etc.
I really appreciate the way
Thank
that
you for sharing.
you're a recorder of your comprehension.
Yeah.
Because in our school, like elementary school or junior, senior, we are not allowed to use the phone in school. So it is very hard to use the recorder to record your comprehension. Like many teachers, after we listen to some videos that the teacher wants to test our comprehension, he just asks us to write down our comprehension, but not to record our comprehension. So we don't have many chances to practice our speaking. We just write some keywords or to write some simple sentences that we heard from that video. So I think that is a good way to practice our speaking after hearing some clips or videos, and also tests can practice our comprehension about that listening.
Yeah.
I think we will have a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
How about
Rita? Do you have any experience?
Yes, I think it's quite similar to Alicia and Grace. And I also have done the same language learning as the Bill, that to record our speech according to the video clip. And I think the process named shadowing, right?
Shadowing.
Shadowing.
Yes.
Yeah. And my high school teacher used to emphasize the importance of shadowing, so we usually did shadowing when we were in near high school, and I really benefit a lot because you can not only improve your listening comprehension and also practice your speaking ability. So I think shadowing is the most way for me to use. And also I also listen to podcasts and YouTube channels to assist my learning. Yeah, so this is the way I learn.
Yeah. I think in Taiwan we overemphasize about the accents, American accents. So the teacher often asks us to shadowing the sentence in the video from that native speaker, right?
She wants us to be aware of the intonation of the language.
Right.
And I forgot also that we sometimes try to do simulation of podcast between us. We just try to record ourselves and try to do podcast in English. But that was not very 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 good podcast. I know that was very bad for me.
Podcast isn't easy.
Yeah. So I usually listen to video, voice tube, or TED Talk.
Oh yeah.
And there are lyrics, so I can read the lyrics and also record my speaking.
One of my classmates, she's very have a fluent speaking, and I asked her how she can speak such fluency English, and she said she just listened to the song from Justin Bieber, and she just repeat that lyrics every day, and mimic his intonation about the lyrics, and she just can speak like fluent English. So I think reading or to speak the lyrics does help to speaking.
I agree.
Yeah, you're right. Because me, I'm fond of hip hop, and I listen Akon a lot. I don't know if you know Akon.
What?
Akon. It is he is an American rapper, but he comes from Senegal. His origin is Senegal, and I like very very well the way he rap. And I usually listen to his sound, and I just sometimes look at the lyrics, like Grace said a while ago. So the lyrics also can help a lot too. Sometimes.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I also have that kind of experience too. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
and as you can see on the slides, is what I and Alicia often use the technology to learn. And you can see the upper one on the left hand side is I mentioned about the electronic dictionary. It's like a little machine that you can type the words that you don't know, so you can search and look up the definition of that words. And there are also many versions of dictionary, so you can pick what you like in that dictionary. And the middle one, I think all of you you have used the website. It's called Grammarly, and the downside is PaperRater, and these two websites I think is kind of similar function to check your grammar in your writing. So these two websites is recommended by our professor in our college, and she is access to check, to edit our writing via two websites. And these two websites are free and useful for me to check my grammar errors or mistakes on my writing. And the right hand side, I think we all indulge in IG, Instagram, and I use Instagram every day, and also found some help that to teach some slang or some phrases like these examples I show on the slides. And the next one is later mentioned about the voice tube. And because I like the voice tube very much because it has bilingual subtitles, and I can close the Chinese subtitles and just look some English subtitle, or also both to close to bilingual subtitles, and I can hear mainly about what video says. So these are some examples I use in my daily life.
So the first question was actually more about how we learn a language through technology. And so this time, So the next question for you is how you have experienced and the technology used teaching when learning a language. So basically, what we're trying to say is how your teacher teaches you a language through technology, and so you just gave us a lot of great experiences. Like Rita, you said that your teacher will help shadowing. Yeah, shadowing, and so you'll repeat after the
voice cue and tap up or BBC Learning English.
Yeah, and Gabriel gave us a lot of experience as well. So I think we'll just jump through this question.
Right. Okay. And then next topic is I will give some briefly information about this in general. So as the technology getting more and more popular, integrate of technology has become a trend in Taiwan.
See anything
So,
on the board?
Do you see anything on the slide?
Okay.
And can you hear me? Please.
Yes.
Okay. So in Taiwan, government started some policies and to give some assistance to school. So in the meanwhile, Ministry of Education launches a lot of policies and slogans, like 2 slogans on the slide, and I will introduce later. And you can see some policies and slogans intends to promote the way of innovative teaching, such as the number 1, I write it is 一生一平板. That means one student has an iPad, and you can see on the picture on the right hand side, every student holds an iPad to assist their learning. And the situation of using iPad is quite common in Taiwan right now. Like last year, the pandemic in Taiwan is very serious, and every students are forced to do the distant learning. So the iPad did help a lot during that time, because teacher had an online course, so students can use their iPad to get online to have their course or do some online homework by their iPad. And the second slogan or the policy I will use is the kind of the project. In Chinese is 数位学习计划, and the project is about learning from technology, and the project is launched by the government since 2019. So it's about few years since then. And this project is about students can use their iPads in hand to have different subjects integration learning, and students can learn language in real situation. And also there are some online resources to assist teaching and learning. Okay.
So next part we'll introduce some equipment and devices we now used in school, and in school we mainly focuses on elementary schools. So now in elementary schools we have iPads and interactive whiteboards and some multifunction classrooms. So there's a lot of things that iPad can do. and I believe that everyone all knows what iPad can do. So I'll just jump forward to the interactive whiteboard. So interactive whiteboard, we can project things on the whiteboard, and teachers don't have to go to the computer to click for the next page. The teacher can actually just click on the whiteboard, and then it will jump to the next page. And teachers and the whiteboard, the interactive whiteboard, it's an electronic whiteboard, and it works like just a whiteboard. But you can have some images present on the device, on the equipment. And so the last part of this page is multifunction classroom. So in multifunction classroom, it's just like the picture showed on the right hand side. So there a classroom. These kind of classrooms may include the interactive whiteboard I just mentioned, and then it will have an OpenQ projector, which is on the second circle when you count it from the right side on the second circle. So this projector is different from a regular projector. So this projector can project a small object onto the screen and make it bigger and clearer. And then it's a IRS machine. So this IRS is actually shortened for interactive response system. So these kind of machine will be placed on the table, and students can press the button on the machine to respond to the teacher's question immediately. And then it's a projector. It's a regular projector. So not all multifunction classroom will have all these for equipment or devices, but they will at least have an interactive whiteboard. So I also have a question for Digital. So in your classroom, do you have some special equipment or devices in school?
Basically, I would say no, because at the time I start learning English, we just had one room for the whole school, one equipped room for the whole school, and each classroom has to spend 1 hour and a half, around 2 hours, and that's it. So yeah, for the we just got one equipped room for language learning, and the room was for the whole school. And yeah, each classroom have to experiment 1 hour and a half, around 2 hours. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And Alicia, I just have one question for the students. Which level of students are experimenting these materials? They are on primary school or high school?
Primary schools. So elementary school are basically primary schools. Yeah.
Okay.
So
nice.
Yes.
Oh, we had that chance when we just have one equipped room, and that was for everyone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. So the next is we had an interviewing an English teacher in one of the elementary school in Taichung. So like we just mentioned, they have used iPad in language learning. So they launched some interesting activities to use their iPad to learn some language. like the right hand side, you can see the sticker. Is what kind of sticker works? So we had used the apps called Line. We use Line to chat, to connect each other. So we also use the stickers to send our message or send our feelings or emotions. So it kind of means to work like the stickers. So students can use their iPad to make the stickers. So the stickers is made from Alicia. She pictures our classmates like the pictures, and she gives some footage about the pictures. So the pictures can made into the stickers. So in the sticker in Taiwan is very common to use because it can make money to sell the stickers. So people can buy the stickers to send some message in the app. So the stickers is kind of a trend to make, to draw, even to pictures that sticker. So the sticker used in elementary school, I think is a good way to let the students to use their familiar way to learn the language. And other interesting way is teacher mentioned about a teacher is putting some different QR code in different corner of the campus. So students like to use their iPad to scan the QR code, and each QR code will represent a letter. So they have to collect all the letters to form vocabularies. So the vocabulary is like topic words for the course. So students can use that technology to use, and I think that technology, the iPad, is an interesting way of not sitting in a chair and listen to teacher to spell the letter for them, but they themselves to find the letter by themselves by holding an iPad. So I think it's like an interesting way to learn the language. And you can see the blue icon here is called Cool English. It is the online resources I mentioned before, because last year we are forced to have a distant learning, so teachers are forced to use some online resources. So the online resources at that time is kind of common or like familiar to both teachers and students. So the teacher upload the homework to the kind of the platform, so students can check their daily homework at that platform. So this Cool English is kind of a common website, or I call the platform for the elementary school teachers or students to enter into it, because it is kind of personalized website. Each student can follow their levels or follow their learning progress to make a plan to suit their level, but not the levels are suitable for everyone. So it is the most recommended platform or the website for the elementary school teachers and students.
Okay, so sorry for the disappearing. So that question I would like everyone to discuss is that after using VR, so what do you think, what or how do you think VR could do or could help students to learn in language learning? So I believe that we all have tried to use some VR to like experience different kind of things, and how do you think it can be integrated in teaching?
do have some chance to participate others event held by other people, and that event, the title of that event is called the movie night. And when I enter into that event, there are many movies titles on the walls, and when I click the movie that I want to see, and the movie will show on the walls. I think it's very cool and interesting way to have kind of interacting with the technology, because I think it's very cool to see the movie in this space. And I also had a chance to go into a other's house, but I don't know who he is. And in a house, there's many tables on the house, and the tables, and there are some snacks on the table, like donuts, French fries, and etc. So when I click the snacks like donuts, and the donuts like it's putting on me, and I was frightened at the moment because I don't have any ideas that the donuts will put on me. So I think it is kind of a cool way to make fun with others, to have some tricks to others. So do you have any chance to experience some events or some other space on VR? Retarded some chance to experience some kind of function or spaces on
Yes.
VR?
It's auto space. I think
Oh,
ER or the campfire.
oh,
I
right.
think really facilitate emergent learning, because in Taiwan we don't have English environment for us to speak or listen to English all the time. And so if I enter campfire in auto space, I can talk to native speakers all around the world, and all I can hear is English. And this really makes me think that I'm in the other country. So I think VR can facilitate emergent learning very well. So
Right.
this is what I learned from VR in English
Ah.
learning.
Yeah, and also what I think is that VR really can enable us to to discover other people civilization, living style. Because for me, learning a language is not just to learn vocabulary, grammar, etc. But it is also to discover other people's way of life, civilization, etc., etc.
Right.
And for me, VR also can enable us to just interact with native speakers, and at that time you can learn the language in an immersive way. Because this time I'm joining some DJ workshop in the virtual world, and they are from the United States. So yeah, I learned a lot of things about the music, dancing, etc., etc. So I think also the VR really can enable us to learn language in an immersive way. And usually, learning language with native speakers, it's for me it's better, because you can learn the language in the context that is spoken. Because usually for example, here we try to simulate the context, and for example, our teacher used to say us, "Oh, Jibril, you are, for example, the native speaker, etc., etc." But all those things were just simulations. But for the VR, we can't really meet the native speakers, authentic contexts, and just to discuss, to discover them, to learn more about them, their way of life, their civilization, and yeah, also to learn the language more easy for me.
I see Angel is right here. Hi.
Hi. Am I clear enough?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Do you have any chance to visit some events or visit some space in this space?
Yes, and I have a different experience from Rita, because when I use Campfire, the people talking around me doesn't sound like native speakers. They sound like they're using the language too. So I think it's interesting, like Jibril said, to exchange culture rather than learning standard English in all space Campfire. Yeah, and I think it's quite cool because now there are more and more tests or assessment. They use different dialects. So, and everybody is communicating with English, not simply learning in standard English. So I think it is a really good place to experience like how you will really use English in the real world. And for the events, I've joined a workshop, and I don't really know what that workshop is because I entered it and they're speaking a different language that I can't recognize. So I just look around and then just go.
And then drop out.
Yeah. But I see they add many
Decorations.
I don't know how to say it. Yeah, decoration. Yeah, thank you. So they add so many decoration, but because I'm using computer, so it's not that able to control it really well. So I couldn't really experience it. It's a shame, but I think the workshop, by entering different workshop, help students to maybe learn the language, maybe learn the content through more interesting activities rather than learning from the textbook, from PPT slides, or from the teacher only. Like the space where you can draw 3D pictures. Well, if you try it at Mandy's home, first time you enter place, she show you that place, like a room, and you could draw a picture in the air.
Right.
That place too, because it seems to make the class more interesting, and there's probably more things you could try there. So I also think that place is very useful, though I haven't figured out how to use it. I think it's very useful for language learning. There's more activity to do there. Yes, that's my share.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your sharing. I do learn a lot from your experiences.
So I think this is probably the end of our discussion, but these are all we prepared for this meeting. So
Okay, thank you.
I think
I want to
I
say
can-
sorry for being late. I'm so sorry.
that's okay.
I also struggle a bit when I open my computer.
So Gabriel, do you have come up a date for your event?
Yeah, I just have one question for you. Do you think you will use VR when you finish your teacher training? So whenever you start teaching, do you think you will use VR or not?
Can you say that
Sorry,
again?
I didn't really understand your question. I didn't really.
Are we going to use VR?
Yeah,
We really
I think-
become teacher.
Yeah. Are you going to use VR when you finish your training and you start teaching now in classroom? Do you think you will use VR with your students?
I wouldn't start right away because me myself is not familiar with it. So I think I need to be more familiar with the function. Then I can use it in my teaching. But it's really fun to use. So I think I can try, but I'm not sure if it could become a official curriculum equipment, something like that. My opinion.
Okay.
I've tried it in classes in the 5th grade, and they need some time to get familiar with the machine first. So we'll have to spend like a few classes to teach them how to use the equipment. Then we can start to introduce the VR environment and VR apps for them. So I think it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it because the students are engaging in the environment, and some of the students, they don't like English, but they will like this equipment is very new and interesting for them. So they will be more willing to speak in the environment or to discuss more content with the classmates in VR environment. So I think I will probably try to use if the school I go to have this kind of equipment for the students.
Is Mandy talking in silence?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
I said it will take a little bit of time for us to teach the student how to use the VR equipment at first, but it's like 2 or 3 classes later they will know and get familiar with the equipment, and they will try to explore, and because this environment is very cool, very new, very interesting to them, so they are willing to speak English and to engage in the class. So if the school I go to in the future have this kind of equipment for the students, I think I will try to use it in my English class or maybe in other classes. Yes.
I think it's suitable for English language classes. For math class or science class, I'm not that sure now.
Right. Because I think it provides the real situation to let the students practice in speaking and speak to other people comes from other countries that can learn from their country's cultures or their speaking ways. So I think it's a good way to provide them to learn the language here.
I think
But I
maybe
find out the little problem is that
yes.
our figure don't move. So sometimes maybe we communicate with hand gestures, but we can't do that here. Maybe
Right,
it's just me
we don't
because
have
I'm
the
using the computer.
headsets.
Yeah.
Mm.
So how about other people? Do you think you would try to use VR in your classroom?
I think I agree with what Angel has said because I'm not that familiar with this device yet. So I think I won't. When I finish the training, I won't really get into put it in the real teaching session yet. But I think that will. I think I will try to use started to use some like after school time to gather some students that are interested in these kind of things and to start like some kind of like workshop as well and to gradually to know what suits them better, I guess.
Maybe if
Kind of
you
like
have the equipment
it.
in the school, you could just build up a VR club something.
Yeah, I do think so.
Yeah.
And you don't have the pressure to really teach students through something that they can experience this with fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when do you finish your training?
For me, I'll be finished it this June or July, I think. June.
Okay.
What about you?
Grace and I will be finished it next year in
Next
June
year.
as well.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will also prepare a presentation for you, and I don't know if you have any preference of the topic you want. You want to be So if you have any preference about a topic, I can prepare it for you.
Wait, can you repeat that again? I just
Yeah,
got
I said
different. Yeah.
I will prepare a presentation for you, and I don't know if you have any preference about the topic you want me I present.
I think
thought we
there's
had
because
is it okay to change that?
Sorry?
what did Angel say?
The professor asked,
I couldn't hear you, man.
gave us 3 topics, right?
Yes. I think the third
Is it-
topic is the views on the potential of VR for language learning and teaching. I think maybe we can
Okay,
try.
so
Yeah, I think we can maybe
so
we
the
can.
topic is already set up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but for this one, maybe everyone can prepare a kind of app or what do you see in the environment that you were going to use in the like your lesson plan this semester. So you can share and discuss what you are going to do, and maybe you can have your initial thoughts for the lesson plan. What do you think?
Okay.
May I ask how many lessons do we have? Like section.
Oh, I think you will maybe a unit or a lesson, but we have to check with professors first because we also need to know
Okay.
how many classes can you go to the school to teach.
Hmm. So our lesson plan is applied in like language class or like the subject class.
I think it depends on you.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So VR is the topic, but what we're going to teach through VR, it depends on us.
Yes, you can decide it by
I don't
yourself.
think so.
Yeah. So it can be science, it can be social studies or PE, anything that you come to your mind and you think that is possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but for each class it lasts 40 minutes, so you have to think about it.
I
Okay.
think the first
So the
class will be-
students. And I want to
Students
know
using the
that
headset.
students will know the equipment or they do not know.
I need to make sure with the school, but I think that some of them might already know how to use the equipment.
Okay.
But I don't think they
So
will
which
be
grade
familiar
are they?
with the app that you are going to introduce to them.
So we don't have to introduce the equipment.
I think so. But you have to introduce
Okay.
the software for the students because they might not have been used before.
Okay.
I haven't really discovered different apps on Steam. I just use Allspace so far.
Yeah, that's fine. Allspace is also fine if you want to use it.
So when will the meeting be held?
I think you are okay on Monday and Friday. All of you.
I don't know, but I can't hear you anymore.
What about now?
Yeah. That's okay now.
They are asking
Okay.
for the date that we are going to meet for the next time.
The next meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, I think if it is on Monday or Friday, I will be free.
Yeah. So what about the rest of people?
But with those two, please.
On Mondays and Fridays, I'm usually free.
Okay.
So there are 21st, 25th, 28th this month.
Yeah, I'm okay with those days.
I'm also as well. I lost my job, so I'm free on Friday now as well.
How about Angel?
Okay, too. I think I'm muted.
What?
No.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, good. So I'm okay with Monday and Friday too, but I personally prefer Monday.
Okay, so it will be on 21st or 28th. Maybe I can check with Rita later because she seems to have some problem in the dormitory, so she will not be able to answer us now.
Okay.
So do you have
Did you
any
hear us?
questions?
Yeah, I can, but I don't really. The sound is too bad. Let me check too.
What do you say?
Could you hear me now?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you said a while ago, Mandy? Because I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said, because the next meeting will be on 21st or on 28th, but because Rita has some problem in the dormitory now, she can't answer us. So I will check with her and tell you later.
Okay.
So do anyone have questions now?
No.
If no,
For me, it's okay.
Can Grace and Alicia drop the slides in our
apps.
line group or
Okay. Okay.
so much thanks.
So if there's no questions, I will let
So-
you explore here.
This will be the end.
Yeah.
Oh, have Grace and Alicia switched your headset already?
I did try, but I tried 2 times or 3 times.
Oh, okay. Because I haven't got the headset from Rita.
Do you want to
Sorry,
try it? I
yes.
can give it to you.
Did you live in a
I'm so
dormitory?
sorry.
No,
Could
I don't live in a
please
dormitory.
turn off that mic. Sorry. Thank you.
I think you don't have to give it to me these 2 weeks because 我在集中实习。
Okay, I know.
Okay, so after these 2 weeks, when I'm done with those things, I will ask you when you're available and we can get
Okay, I
the
will give it to
equipment
you.
from you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh,
So I have another meeting so I will just take my lunch and prepare it.
Okay.
okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
And
See
thank you
you.
very much for the presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much.
for your sharing as well.
Right.
No worries.
Okay then. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye bye.
谢你回来台湾吧。你不是在隔离是吗？还是隔完了？
我吗？我快隔离完了，礼拜4就可以出去了。